Sorry for those of you at home, I forgot to hit record. We've just continued from where we left off last lesson. I've given a bunch of data. This is the number of hours slept in an average night, rounded off to the nearest half hour. So we're making a frequency table. We checked the lowest value, it was 7. The highest value was 10. So we made a list of every half hour. And then we carefully went through this list, making a tally and making a frequency chart. Now we're going to look at how to enter this into our graphing calculator. So I've turned my graphing calculator on and go into the stat menu, which is, what on your calculator, what option number is the stat menu? So you can move the arrows and hit enter, or the shortcut is just hit option number 2. And do you all have a list in list 1 still?
Yeah.
Okay, mine is gone because mine doesn't save it. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to clear list 1. To do that, hit exit until you get to this screen, until you get to the graph, calc, test, intra, dist. If you're already there, you're fine. Are you already there? Oh, and once again, if you fall behind on your graphing calculator, ask me right away. Don't ask me 8 minutes from now, so I have to re-explain all this. That's going to irritate me. Pardon me? I know. Stop. No. I'm going to teach you how to delete the list. But I need to. Ready, Boston? The first thing you need to do is get to this menu. Are you on this menu here?
Yeah.
Numbers are still there, yes?
Yeah.
Move your arrow up until it's highlighting list 1. Yes? This arrow right here pointing to the right tells you that there are more menu options. So can you press F6 to get to more menu options? And now your screen should look like this. Yes? What do you think del stands for? What do you think del A stands for? And it's highlighted. Delete all. If you press delete all, F4, that should clear the list. Try it. Does it? Yes? Did you press F6, the arrow here, F6 to get to the next? Did you press exit, 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 exit? Okay, hang on then. Let me pause the recording. Thank you for that. So you know how to, you all were able to clear a list successfully? Now, Danielle, we want to get back to the main group of menus, so press F6 again, arrow sideways, to get back to the graph, calc, test, intra, dist. Okay? So in terms of our notes, it says F6 tells us more commands are available. Hit F6, and now you should see that. The delete all command will clear an entire list at once. Now, navigate back to list 1, column 1, row 1. So navigate back to that square right there. And enter the number of hours of sleep. So 7, enter, 7.5, enter, 8, enter, 8.5, enter, 9, enter, 9.5, enter, 10, enter. Sorry? Press delete. Press exit. Arrow. Delete. Now hit a 7. It didn't come up with it. You hit a decimal accidentally. Okay. You guys got to type carefully here. So you should get on row 7. There should be a 10. Then you know you haven't missed any. Going up by 0.5s. And when you're done, when you get to that stage, look up just so I can see that you're done. Okay. There? Yep. Okay, now move to list 2. And if you go arrow sideways, it should jump you to the top of the list, I hope. Yes? We're going to add the frequencies in this column. What was the frequency for 7 hours? I don't have it in front of me anymore. 1? What was the frequency for 7.5? 3? What was the frequency for 8? What was the frequency for 8.5? 5? What was the frequency for 9? 4? What was the frequency for 9.5? 2, and then 1. Okay? You know you've got the right numbers if you have if these line up, if you've got one too many or one too few, you missed a frequency or you missed a data point. Because your number of frequencies and your number of data points should be the same. Okay, Shania? Now what we need to do is we need to tell our calculator what's going on. We're going to do a calculation. What was the calculation? F2. But we need to set up our calculator. What's setup going to be? F6. Okay? So see if you get to this screen. If you don't get to this screen, now is your time to tell me. Yep. So you went calc, F2, right? Okay. This is all in the notes, by the way, and we'll go through it again, but I'm going to do it once with you all looking up here. Where did we type our data? What list? Remember? List 1. Is that what it says it's going to assume for our list data? List 1? Check. Go down arrow once. Ah! Our frequency is not 1 for each piece of data. What list did we type our frequency in? List 2. So if you press, what does the list button line up with down here? F2. What list number did we type the frequency in? 2. Enter. Now it knows, oh, that's your frequency column. Does that make sense? When you get the hang of it, it makes good sense. You need to practice this. Okay, we've set up our list correctly. Oh, by the way, if you want to go back to putting a 1 there, you hit F1 and it'll assume, oh, each thing is just once. But I want to go back to frequency is in list 2. How would I back up one menu? Exit. Doink. And then do you remember what we hit to get all the numbers? It was one variable calculation, F1. Doink. You should have the same numbers as me. Yes? Liam, no, yes, no? Yeah? Okay. In our notes, scroll down, we should get the following variables. Am I missing one, Mr. Dueck? You guys have 8.45 or 8.475 on yours? 8.45? Nope! I made a mistake in mine. Give me 1 second here. So when I did this a few days ago, clearly I made a typo. You all got the same answers as me over here? Scroll up, sorry. 8.45, is that right? Okay, so I'll quickly fix this. 8.45. Hey, what did X bar stand for? The mean, 8.45 hours. What's the mode? Well, on our graphing calculator, it was, oh, that right there. What's the mode? 8.5 hours. That was the most common number. The fact that the mean and the mode are very close together suggests to me that might be the best thing to use as average. Oh, what's the median? 8.5. The fact that all three of these are close together suggests to me I've got fairly good data. My data is not spread out. I don't have any outliers. Remember we talked last day about outliers? What do you think min x means? Min x, oh, smallest value. What do you think max x means? Biggest value. What do you think little n means? N equals 20. Number of data pieces. Okay? So this handout here tells you how to use your graphing calculator. I apologize that some of the numbers are wrong, unfortunately, but that's okay. The textbook is going to walk you through a TI graphing calculator, so we're going to ignore those instructions and do it our own way. Now back to the workbook. If you can turn in the workbook, please, to page 199. Page 199. Under the B, 1. Under the N, under the I, 9. Under the N, 9. Page 199. Page 199. So anybody that does not have their textbook here, I can loan you one. Y'all got one here? Okay. And keep your graphing calculators handy. Some of this is already going to be reviewed. So statistics. Here's a definition of statistics. I already gave you one. Data can be collected from a population. That's if you survey everybody. Or from a sample of the population. That's if you somehow survey a small group of the population and you're hoping that your sample will match the actual population fairly accurately. Once the data has been collected, it can be analyzed in a variety of ways. It's talking about average, measures of central tendency, mean, median, and mode. So here are the big three. Whoop, that didn't work. Highlighter, Mr. Dueck. Mean, median, and mode. And here's your definitions. Mean, the mean of a population, if you sample everyone, we traditionally use the Greek letter mu for average. If you just sample a few people, we traditionally use X bar for average. For example, will we ever sample the entire Canadian population? Only once every 10 years for a census. Most elections, not everyone votes. It's a sample. The census, legally you have to fill it out. That's a mu, the average. The mean of a population and the mean of a sample are both calculated using the same method, adding them all up and dividing by the number of data values. Then there's the median, and then there's the mode. Let's practice some of this. Example 1. The data below represents the time taken to the nearest minute for a high school student to drive to school each of the last 10 days. Calculate the mean. We'll also find the mode. We'll also find the median. You guys want to do this by hand, or do you want to use the technology? By hand? Boston says by hand? Okay. So, if I want to find the mean, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to divide by 10. And it's going to be 11 plus 10 plus 19 plus 16 plus 15 plus 14 plus 13 plus 12 plus 17 plus 15. Now, I disagree with Boston, by the way. Look up. If I'm going to type out on my calculator 11 plus 10 plus 19 plus 16 plus 15 plus 14. If I'm going to type every number, Boston, no matter what, why wouldn't I just type it in here? I mean, I'm going to type the numbers no matter what. Why wouldn't I just go, hey, get your graphing calculators out, press exit until you're back to here. Delete this list, delete all. Delete this list, delete all, and then go back to list 1. If you can't get that, now is the chance to ask me. Get over it. Get over it. By the way, this is the not much math work. It's calculating a standard deviation, which is something we're going to spend lots of time doing. Boston, that is about 40 lines. Not worth doing. It is, but once. Everybody got their lists cleared? Maggie, yeah?
I'm not like a copy list too, but there's no way.
Got it? Okay. Hey, let's type in these numbers into list 1. So the numbers are 11, 10, 19, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 17, whoop, typo, 17, 15. Just read them right from in front of you. Don't read them from me, right? You got the list in front of you. It's way easier to do. And once you've done that, we need to set the list. We'll get there in a second. People are still typing. Once you've done typing them in, look up. Okay. We want to do a calculation. Right now my screen does not have the calculation menu. Oh, F6, right? That brings up, that brings me back to that one. Calculation, which is what, Matt? F2, I got to set it up right. Okay. What list did I type the data in? List what? List what? 1? Is that correct? But did I do a frequency chart? Nope. So go down to where it says frequency. What do I want the frequency to be? 1, which is F1. And then hit exit or enter to get back out of there. You there okay, Liam, or did I lose you? You with me? Good, fine. How do I get the numbers now? What button was it? One var? Yeah, go ahead. Find it. Joe, are you there okay?
I'm at like the graph, but I'm not sure what to click now.
You're at this screen here? This? Yes? Joe, are you at this screen here? The rest of you, if you want to move ahead and try and remember how to do this. Joe, are you there now or no? Okay, that's what I need to hear. It means it's a typo. Continue. Let's see. Calculate. Set. I got a frequency of 1, so I'm good. Do you get 12.7? One variable. One variable count. Right? You said it. Do we get 12.7 or not? Or am I wrong? 14.2? Have I got a typo in mine? You're going to have... Oh, 1, Mr. Dueck. It's not 1. What came... is it a 16, Mr. Dueck? 16. Try that again. Do you get 14.2? But Boston, you're going to be typing this into your calculator no matter what. Like you're saying, there's so many areas to make mistakes. This is less typing, not more typing. You just got to get the hang of it. I realize that. But I guarantee you, you're going to be getting ones where you don't want to do them by hand. Hey, what's the mean? 14.2. What's the mode? Sorry? 15. What's the median? Oh, wrong calculator, Mr. Dueck. Don't bring that one up. What's the sorry, what was the median? 14.5. 14.5. Pause. Skip example 2, example 3. This one we are going to have to do by hand. Jordan, can you read to me example 3, please? Okay. Here's what they're saying. When you added together 10 plus 4 plus 7 plus 12 plus 9 plus 4 plus x plus 6, and you divided it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of data, you got an answer of 7. Is that okay so far? You know what? What is 10 plus 4 plus 7 plus 12 plus 9 plus 4 plus 6? Now to get to the run menu on your calculator, if you go menu 1, now you can add if you want to use your calculator, or you can add it in your head, or you can use your regular scientific calculator. I don't care. But what is 10 plus 4? Well, 10 plus 4 is 14, plus 7 is 21, plus 12 is 33, 42, 46, 52? Yes? 52 plus x over 8 equals 7. Now what? Really? Hey, what? You mean this is 1 fraction equals 1 fraction? If I put that over 1, which I'm not going to bother doing, I can cross multiply? Are you saying, let's make that a little note of that, since many of you didn't remember. So Jordan, you're saying 52 plus x equals 7 times 8? What is 7 times 8? Yeah, 50-something. Thank you, Captain Obvious. So we have 52 plus x equals 56. I'm going to suggest you can probably solve this now in your head. 52 plus what equals 56? I like this question. I like this question. I like this question. Where I tell you what the mean was, and I give you all of the data points but one, and I say, go figure out what it had to be. Going backwards? Sure, I like that. Okay? Okay, Shay? Same page. Example 4. We're going to skip. Page 202 says, using a graphing calculator, using a stat feature, except they're doing this for a TI graphing calculator. So we're going to pass page 203. We're going to do page 203 just to practice. Okay? Page 203. Now, page 203, these are the graphing calculator instructions, but the chart on page 203 actually comes, can you turn back please to page 201? Right here. Example 4. We jumped around a tiny bit. Page 201, example 4. So the data below represents the number of touchdowns thrown by Jason, who's the high school quarterback during his career. I'm going to skip A. We could type all of these in individually, but Boston is right. That's a lot of typing. Suzanne drew a frequency table. So she said, look, the smallest value is 0. The biggest value is 3. We're going up by ones. And then she did a quick tally. She tallied them up, and she noticed that we have 3, 7, 7, and 2 for the frequency. Let's see if we can enter this into our graphing calculator. So bring your graphing calculator up. I'm in the run menu, so I'm going to have to go menu back into the stat menu. How do I delete all? Oh, F6, F4. There, I've cleared my list. You get the hang of this. Yeah? Good. You know what? In list 1, let's type 0, 1, 2, 3. And in list 2, let's do the frequencies. 3, 7, 7, 2. Oh, I need to go F6 to get the calc menu back up. You may need to as well, if you have to delete. Yes? And let's do some calculations, which is F2. First we got to set things up. Did I type the data in list 1? Yep. What list did I type the frequency in, Alex? Oh, I better change that. List 2. By the way, you could type them in list 5 and 6 if you wanted to. If there's one you don't want to keep deleting, you can. There's lots of. You can type them in all over the place, right? I usually go 1 and 2 by default. And now that I've got my data in list 1, my frequency in list 2, I hit exit or enter. How do I get the numbers, Shay? The answers. Your one variable calculation, F1. Okay. What's the mean? You guys get 1.42? Mean 1.42. You got it okay, Boston?
Yeah.
Good. We're not using that. We're not using that. We will be using these two. Oh, what's the median? What's the mode? Huh? It's not 1. It's not 2. It's both. This is a bimodal distribution. Look, my calculator is even saying, hey, one of the modes is 1, one of the modes is 2. Oh, you know how many modes there are? N equals what? 2. Saying there's 2 modes. That's why it's got mode N. The number of modes, there's 2 of them. How many modes are there? 1 and 2. It's bimodal. So I don't, in all honesty, care whether you use the calculator or go by hand, but I'm going to suggest that it's worth your while to learn how to use the technology. What's your homework? Study for the test. But what's your homework when I see you a week from today? Page 204, number 1. Number 2. Number 3. I'm not going to bother having you graph these for number 5, but I think you can find the mean, the median. This is where I'm going to suggest it's worth typing that into list 1, typing that into list 2, and seeing if you can move stuff around. Oh, and F. So D, E, F for number 5. Six is good. 7. Skip 8. 9. 10. Okay. Try that. You got about, holy smokes, 35.